this candle just reminds me so much of growing up in LA.
The big question everyone's asking right now is, why?
You know what? This knife reminds me of growing up in LA.
I think they'll move to LA because Meghan is an actor, right? And then Harry can just join the cast of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Yeah. Just be like fighting on TV. I know what you said about me, Denise. Say it to my face.
Kosher salt brings me back to my days in LA. I'm an LA native. I am a Los Angelite.
They're taking a sabbatical? From what? Helping their grandma pick out hats? Get the f out of here, man.
This salt reminds me of growing up in LA. This carbon monoxide detector just really takes me back to my time in LA where I grew up.
How are you gonna take a break from being royalty? What are you doing? This is like the weirdest thing. Oh, just have to take a break. Too many people surfing us. That's too much.
I grew up in LA.
Oh, honey, where do we even begin? The moment Harry and Meghan said, "We're stepping back," it was like the royal fairy tale shattered right in front of the whole world. The glitter, the crowns, the palaces, poof, gone in one Instagram post. And girl, the comedians, they pounced like seagulls on hot chips. Trevor Noah was the first to draw blood. On The Daily Show, he wasn't just delivering jokes, he was slicing the whole royal dream open like a ripe piñata. The room erupted as he said the couple wanted to be financially independent. And he didn't stop there. Oh no, he leaned in like a shady aunt at Sunday brunch and said, "You a grown-ass man, Harry, you can't be living in your mama's house." Cue the audience absolutely losing it. And just like that, centuries of royal mystery reduced to a glorified group chat meme. Buckingham tried to stay classy, press releases, solemn faces, blah blah, but it was too late. The comedians had clocked in early and honey, they weren't punching out anytime soon. Then came the Netflix docuseries. A whole 6 hours of candlelight, violin scores, and royal tears. Meghan was pouring her heart out. No matter how hard I tried, cue dramatic music. But instead of sympathy, oh, sweetie, it became the crown jewels of comedy. Simon Brodkin, that cheeky British prankster, didn't even flinch. He walked on stage and said, "I wasn't a fan before I watched the documentary. Now I've heard their side, I hate them." The crowd screamed. And then came the dig that had everyone howling.
I watched the Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary. Now, I'll be honest with you, before I watched it, I was not a fan of theirs. Now I've actually heard their side of the story, I hate them.
If you haven't seen the documentary, lucky you. I mean, let's be real. The whole thing looked like a $100 million humble brag with drone shots, designer candles, and tragic violins. Simon didn't need fancy wordplay, he just called it out. Ginger Royal meets fit American actress. She discovers everything is unfair. Boom! Mic drop. And let's talk about the security bill drama, shall we? These two quit the job, said peace out to the monarchy, and then expected the British taxpayers to still foot their protection. Oh baby, the comedians were all over it like bees to posh honey. Jimmy Kimmel was side-eyeing their digital detox, while Harry was signing multi-million-dollar book deals. Stepping back from royal duty means stepping forward into sponsored content, joked Bill Maher. TikTok exploded when Meghan talked about the royal curtsy like it was some ancient curse. People stitched her clip with scenes from The Princess Diaries and screamed, "We've seen this movie!" And when Harry worried about paparazzi flying drones over their massive California mansion, Ian Moore was like, "Maybe don't build a vineyard that spells your initials from above." Savage. Even Stephen Colbert couldn't resist. He teased the secret behind why Meghan and Harry call each other M and H, like it was a Dan Brown novel reveal. M is the 13th letter, H is the 8th. Add them up and wait for it.
Harry says, how do you explain to someone who've just started dating that they have to curtsy to your own grandmother?
How do you explain that you bow to your grandmother and that you will need to curtsy, especially to an American? Like, that's weird.
And I'm thinking, maybe just tell her that your grandmother is the queen.
Deion Sanders' jersey number. Obviously a reference to how they light up each other's lives, Colbert deadpanned. The room lost it. But when the actual explanation came out, oh God, Meghan just said, "We used initials when we first started dating in secret." That's it. Girl, not the National Treasure clue trail we were promised. Even Rachel Paris jumped on it, joking she once called Margaret Thatcher PM during a secret affair. That Thatcher zinger had both sides of the pond in stitches. So just when you thought things couldn't get more hilariously chaotic, enter the flower sprinkles. Oh honey, Alyssa Limperis, the queen of parody, unleashed the parody to end all parodies. She dressed in a silky blouse, stacked on enough rings to blind a corgi, and transformed into the ultimate Duchess Diva Guru hybrid. The first thing she did? Scolded the audience like a disappointed Pilates instructor for calling Meghan by her maiden name. It's Sussex, darling, not Meghan Markle. It's Sussex. she snapped, with all the pretentious flair of someone who just discovered organic sea moss. Then, it just spiraled. She started barking orders at invisible staff, flipping from serene lifestyle quotes to full-on meltdowns in seconds. "Strive for balance, not perfection," she whispered before shrieking, "Who ironed this blouse? I said 10 times. This looks like 9.
Assumed it was for the obvious reason. M is the 13th letter of the alphabet, and H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. 8 plus 13 is 21. 21 was Deion Sanders' number, and Deion Sanders' nickname was Neon Deion, obviously a reference to how they light up each other's lives. Wow.
Babe, we were crying, like actual tears. Then came the flour sprinkles. She pulled out a canister like it was the Holy Grail. We need more flour sprinkles. Everything needs flour sprinkles. She sprinkled them over everything. The eggs, the air, her own soul. It became a full-blown cult. TikTok took that clip and ran with it straight to meme heaven. Flour sprinkles started trending alongside actual footage of garden centers. I kid you not. Then she turned into LA girl from the depths of influencer hell. Every item around her, from knives to salt to carbon monoxide detectors, reminded her of growing up in LA. Like, girl, what were you inhaling in that carbon monoxide childhood? This salt? LA? This candle? Also LA. This plastic fork? LA memories. It was so tone-deaf, so delusionally perfect that even Palace insiders allegedly couldn't finish their lunch from laughing too hard. And if you thought we'd reached peak absurdity, buckle up. She demanded a staffer slice open his hand so she could heroically leap in as Nurse Meghan. Yes, she asked for a real wound so she could live out her savior fantasy. "Okay, David, slice into your flesh so I can jump in and be Nurse Meghan." That line alone was enough to resurrect Princess Diana and make her sigh in disbelief. Limperus even saved sandwich scraps for the homeless, because of course, that's a lifestyle tip now. Save your crusts. Duchess said so. And let's not forget her final swing, shouting out the number Sussex squad like it was a militia of online flower-powered warriors. You know you've made it when your fans are bullies. The video hit 10 million views in 48 hours. It outperformed clips from their actual Netflix show. That's like a parody outshining the thing it parodied. Vogue, Vanity Fair, they were shook. One called it a masterclass in influencer satire. And Hollywood, girl, Hollywood started to whisper, quietly, strategically. That kind of silence is louder than any roast. But wait, if you thought comedians had peaked, nope, that moment hadn't come yet. Because then came South Park. And baby, the gloves weren't just off. They were burned, stomped, and scattered like ash over the Windsor Castle lawns. In February 2023, Trey Parker and Matt Stone delivered the most savage animated evisceration of Meghan and Harry ever seen on television. The episode, the Worldwide Privacy Tour. It began in Canada, where Meghan used to film Suits. And the tone was instantly nuclear. Fake morning show, Canadian flags, and then the royal cartoon couple entered screaming, "We want privacy, we want privacy."
You take something really pretty ordinary and you make it extraordinary. Strive for balance, not perfection. Is this a wrinkle I see in my blouse? Who the f ironed this? I told you to iron this shirt 10 times. It looks like you only ironed it 9.
And the irony? Oh, it was juicy. They shouted for privacy while waving signs, hiring drum lines, hopping on PR floats. You could practically smell the Montecito hypocrisy through the screen. It became a worldwide meme overnight. TikTok teens lip-synced "We want privacy" in their pajamas. Twitter bios got updated to Worldwide Privacy Tour. Even Urban Dictionary added it. South Park wasn't pulling punches. They made Harry hold a book titled Where, a jab at his real-life memoir, Spare. And the anchor goes, "So you're mad at the press while writing a book for the public?" Oof. But it didn't stop there. Oh no, they moved the couple to a small town to be normal. And guess what? Meghan's cartoon doppelganger spied on the neighbors with binoculars. Meanwhile, Harry put up giant "Leave us alone" signs like it was Coachella for contradictions. Even the British palace was like, "Are we being punked?" The show trended instantly, and no royal PR statement could put the toothpaste back in that global satire tube. The phrase "Worldwide Privacy Tour" became permanently stitched into pop culture. And no one would ever hear Harry and Meghan say privacy again without laughing. But the dagger, the one that twisted the deepest? Jimmy Carr. So just when you thought the Sussex saga couldn't get any messier, in comes Jimmy Carr like a royal executioner with a velvet axe. He didn't just roast, he nuked the palace. Picture this, he's on stage, pacing like a mad genius and says, "Imagine something awful happens to William and Kate." And then we're left with King Andrew. Gasps. Real ones. People sucked the air out of the room so hard you'd think the roof might cave in. It wasn't just a joke, it was a shot to the spine of the monarchy, and sure, it was dark. But it made one terrifying point. By stepping down, Harry didn't just exit the royal life, he shook the entire tree. Because who's next in line? And do we really want that? Clips went viral. People didn't even need the setup anymore. Just say King Andrew and the audience shrivels in horror and delight at the same time. It was gallows humor, but it landed, and it lingered. Meanwhile, Hollywood, that glittery machine that once embraced Meghan like she was Grace Kelly reincarnated, oh darling, they ghosted, softly, politely, but very, very clearly. The first sign? Oprah. The Oprah. When asked about Harry's memoir tour, she declined to comment. Yup. The Queen of the Bombshell 2021 interview, she zipped it. That's the entertainment world's version of a breakup text with no words. Jimmy Kimmel picked it up and ran with it, crafting a fake group chat called Montecito Mavens with Oprah, Beyonce, and Tyler Perry. Each one just sent a single thumbs up emoji and archived the chat. Savage, hilarious, and hauntingly real. Then came the red carpet freeze. Meghan and Harry weren't the hotshot photo targets anymore. Paparazzi turned their lenses toward fresher buzz, like Jenna Ortega. Meanwhile, insiders whispered that publicists were dropping gentle warnings. No spontaneous Sussex selfies, please, brand fatigue. Ouch. And then, Netflix. Their golden ticket, their streaming throne, yanked plans for a second docuseries. Creative pivots, they said. Translation? The numbers weren't numbering. The buzz was overcooked. Bill Burr, never one to hold back, called the couple the Fire Festival of Content. All hype, messy delivery. TikTokers clipped that line and stitched it under Meghan stirring tea while violins played in her kitchen. Millions of views, again. And remember those high hopes for a cooking show? A lifestyle rebrand? Gone. Even comics like Dulce Sloan joked, last I checked, they wanted privacy. Now they want a cooking show. What's next? A true crime podcast about who stole Meghan's flower sprinkles? Boom. #$ content whiplash was born. Even once supportive faces started side-eyeing. Gayle King paused mid-interview with Harry and asked if he worried that sharing too much was, maybe hurting the message. Harry smiled, dodged. The internet screamed, on-air ghosting. That was it. That was the energy now. Caution, distance, shrugs. And then came the inevitable royal return, 2024. First official event since the Queen's death, a solemn memorial service, a diplomatic landmine, but also a primetime comedy setup waiting to explode. Every headline was a roast draft. Will Harry parachute in via podcast? Will Meghan curtsy? Or side-eye? Comedy shows were foaming at the mouth. South Park's Quiet Town clip went viral again, reshared with captions like, what privacy looks like before the Netflix boom mics arrive. Stephen Colbert joked that the palace handed out noise-canceling headphones to protect royal ears from Californian awkwardness. Trevor Noah dusted off his Get a Job Harry bit and remixed it into a Rocky-style training montage, with Harry polishing ceremonial swords to Eye of the Tiger. Brutal? Yes. Deserved? Depends who you ask. But effective? Oh, absolutely. Even Jonathan Ross hosted a live Pick Your Pew game on TV where the audience voted which church bench Harry and Meghan should be seated on. Then the memes hit critical mass. TikTok creators filmed themselves curtsying in slow-mo to South Park's We Want Privacy chant. Others dubbed bird sounds over footage of the Sussex convoy landing at Heathrow. The hashtag number #tweet racked up over 60 million views in a week. And when they actually walked into St. George's Chapel, silence. No interviews, no viral clips, no curtsy drama. But guess what? That silence was the punchline. Because the internet didn't need new material, it recycled the old ones. Comedy had already locked in the storyline. The Sussexes were no longer telling their tale, comedians were. And just when people started muttering, maybe the roast is done, the TikTok clips of Alyssa Limperis's flower sprinkle meltdown re-emerged. She screams #Sussex Squad as she showers a salad in rainbow garnish. People use that exact clip now to end any post about Harry and Meghan. It's become the universal mic drop. But the real mic drop? Still Jimmy Carr's joke, the King Andrew line. It gets replayed on news shows, in comedy sets, and podcast montages. Because it wasn't just funny, it struck a nerve. It said, without saying, that maybe, just maybe, walking away from the crown wasn't just about escaping headlines. It might have changed the future of the throne, and no press release, no Spotify deal, no silent dignity can erase that meme-fueled memory. Let's be honest. The fairy tale turned into a Saturday morning cartoon. The crown got traded for a podcast mic. The noble cause? Buried beneath lifestyle sprinkles and tabloid ping-pong. So now, here we are. 3 years post-Megxit, and the only thing more consistent than the Sussex PR drama is the punchlines. Will they reclaim the narrative? Rebrand again? Try for another docuseries? Maybe? But comedians? They've already written the ending, and it sounds like this. We want privacy. Cut to 10,000 drones spelling out H&M over Montecito. We want privacy. Cue the flower sprinkles. The crown isn't heavy anymore. It's just hilarious. So what do you think? Are Harry and Meghan forever trapped in the roast loop? Or is there a PR comeback lurking in that organic jam jar? Let us know below. Smash that like button if you've been laughing since 2020. And don't go anywhere, babe, because what's coming next? You're not even ready. You're not even ready. You're